Wow, it's almost here. Amazing. Look, I'd like to welcome everyone for coming along today. Thank you for attending what is the... Is there an echo? No, it's just me. Commissioning service for Tim and myself before we set out on an adventure, which is pretty exciting, but pretty daunting as well. But praise God that who He calls, He equips, and His grace sustains us where He calls us.
Yes.
What a great God we serve. There's a gambit of emotions that I had here in sharing this morning. Very privileged to speak at my home church. And for visitors that have come a long way, thank you guys up the back there. You're most welcome. Good on you. Well, I'm excited to finally deliver this message, which has probably taken 2 years to actually complete. And I've got a feeling that it's probably not yet complete, but I was only running a week and a half ago, and this is going to sound really weird, but I was listening to myself on the podcast. And it was only because I was preparing and listening to stuff and thinking, okay, so what am I going to talk about? And it was only then, and I know this sounds really awkward, but God spoke truth through listening to myself. It's like, let's move on. But He gave me the final picture of what Outrun 331 is, and I want to share that with you this morning because I was really excited. I ran an extra lap at the end just to celebrate. So, if you have your Bibles, could you turn with me to Luke 15:11. And I'm reading out the Amplified. Then He said, a certain man had 2 sons. The younger of them inappropriately said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that falls to me. So he divided the estate between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered together everything that he had and travelled to a distant country, and there he wasted his fortune in reckless and immoral living. Now when he had spent everything, a severe famine occurred in that country, and he began to do without and be in need. So he went and forced himself on one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. He would have gladly eaten the carob pods that the pigs were eating, but they could not satisfy his hunger, and no one was giving anything to him. But when he finally came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired men have more than enough food while I am dying here of hunger? I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Just treat me like one of your hired men. So he got up and came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was moved with compassion for him, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quickly bring out the best robe for the guest of honour, and put it on him, and give him a ring for his hand, sandals for his feet, and bring the fattened calf and slaughter it. And let us invite everyone and feast and celebrate, for this son of mine was as good as dead and is alive again. He was lost and has been found. So they began to celebrate. Father, we just thank you that we can sit around your word today and open it up, Lord. Lord, I just thank you for those that are attending today and those that will listen to the message through other means. Lord, I just pray that you will open hearts, Lord. Open hearts to hear truth, Lord God. Lord, that they will hear your words, not my words. Lord, that you'll give me the words of truth to speak this morning. Lord, I just pray and commit this all to you in your name. Amen. I was in year 11 and living a pretty rugged childhood. When things got so bad at home that I said to I didn't say to my father, I packed up my gear and I packed up my bed sheets and a few things, my school bag and all my books. I was failing at school in year 11. And the relationship with my father had soured to a point where we weren't talking, we were living under the same roof, but we were avoiding each other. He thought that I'd grown too big for my boots, which I had. I was probably the size I am now and questioning his authority and not respecting him. And it got to a point where he said, "Do you want to fight me?" And I thought, that just sort of shook me. And he had glasses, so I'd been told not to hit a person with glasses. But he pulled me out into the backyard and said, "Okay, come on, let's fight." And I would have been 16, he would have been late 30s. And I thought, or even early 40s, but he was out of shape, you know. It was like, I was playing football at the time, so I was an athlete, and it would have been not a fair fight, let's just put it that way, because he wasn't a fit man. And I just couldn't, I really just couldn't, but that sort of summed up where the relationship was. And at one point I said, "No, I'm moving out of home." I didn't ask for the inheritance, but maybe I should. I don't think I would have got any, but in my own heart, I packed up all my bed sheets, all my stuff that was worth taking, and I went up to my school, which was probably a kilometre away. And I set up my bed on the veranda of the library, I think it was. And I decided that I was moving out of home and I was going to live at school. Now, let's just say I didn't think the logistics through of that. And after a couple of hours, I probably barely would have been noticed that I'd gone. I came to my senses and said, "No, this is not working." And I went home. And as I was coming in the door, my father called me. And he said, "Oh, it's only you." And that was the welcome I had. You know, he must have seen me with all my blankets and everything else, and that was the response I got. "Oh, it's only you." Now, having said that, I'd just like to put it out there that my relationship with my father, who's still with us, he's 83 now, is fantastic. And I'll share another example. But we had fallen out. Which brings me to the run. Previously, I've shared what Outrun 331 is about. God gave me a picture. And it came to me as a maths problem, which, being an accountant, God knows the voice. We know the voice of the Father, and so he talks to us in a language that we understand. But 3 plus 3 equals 1, I did not understand. The maths of it, I was a very good maths student. I could not work it out. 3 plus 3 equals 1. And I went back to God. I said, "You're going to need to explain a little bit more, because 3 plus 3 equals 1 is not adding up." So over time, as I searched, I came to understand that 3 represented the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. 3 in 1, the Godhead. The second 3 represented us, people. Physical, mental, spiritual. And I thought, well, okay, we're moving, we're making progress here. 3. And then God said, there's an invitation that I put out there to man, and that is to follow me and be in relationship with me. If you add man to that relationship and you recognise that relationship, it equals wholeness and brings wholeness. The plus was I could couldn't work out the plus. It was only when I was sharing one day momentum as I was walking up that God challenged me, because maybe I just wasn't making as much progress as he thought I should have. I'm a little bit thick sometimes. But he pushed it on me and said, do you know what the cross is? Oh, sorry, do you know what the plus is? I'm just giving it away now. Do you know what the plus is? And I'm thinking, no. He put it into my spirit that the plus is the cross that joins God to man. And it's the invitation that he puts out there through Jesus, who gave up his life. He gave up living in heaven to come down and take on what couldn't have been an opportunity that anyone would want, but he willingly did it and took on our form. You know, here's Jesus, part of the Godhead, saying, yeah, I'll take on man's form. And it's like, wow, why? Why would you, Jesus? But he did it willingly. So the plus is the cross. And as we respond to the Father, we can have wholeness, spiritually, physically, mentally. So 3 plus 3 equals 1. Now, I thought when Outrun 331 was formed, we were doing something for mental health. We were going to run from the Sydney Opera House to Parliament House, and it was 331 kilometres. And that's why, and my daughter who's here today, you know, we came up with a handle that said Outrun 331. That sounds pretty groovy. Oh, groovy's probably not the word. That's probably my words, not hers. But we said, yeah, Outrun 331. And so we knew what the 331 was. God had more in mind than what I actually knew. When we started talking about 3 plus 3 equals 1, we started talking about 3 plus 3. When you add them all up, it equals 7, which is also significant in biblical terms. But it was only the other day when I was, as I shared earlier, that I was out there. And it was almost like God saying, well, I've given him long enough now to work it out. Maybe I just need to prompt him a little bit more. And I just thought the outrun was just part of it. But it was like, okay, so the outrun. And as I was running, I just felt the Holy Spirit saying, there's significance in the outrun. And I thought, ooh, okay. I've been doing this for 18 months and haven't thought anything further about it, but the significance is, as God showed me, that out and run are 2 different things. They're not one word, but they're 2 different things. The out relates to the story of the prodigal son. When the prodigal son returned, the father was out there in the field waiting for him. He was out. He was waiting. He wasn't inside, he was out there. So when the son finally decided that he was willing to turn back to the father would be out there waiting. The run part is the father running towards the son. It's the only time with a picture of God that God runs. And Benny Hester put it beautifully back in the 80s, I think the 90s even, when God ran. And God runs when we decide that we're going to turn our back on what we've been doing and trying to live outside his grace. And we turn back to God and say, I want to be in relationship with you. God's there waiting. He's waiting, anticipating. And once you make that step, he's so keen to have you back in relationship that he runs. He runs to you. And that also blew my socks off, because I just thought I was going for a run. God had other plans. It's God's heart. The story of the prodigal son is the son saying, I'm going to do my own thing. God's given us all abilities and talents, and we can choose to use those, or we can choose to lay them dormant. Our gift back to God is how we use them, and we have an opportunity to give those gifts back to Him. When I was 20, about 4 years after that last episode with my father, and I'm happy to say that despite a couple of years going past where my father and I, well, he actually kicked me out of home at one point, gave me an ultimatum, and resulted in me leaving home. And I lived on the streets for a while. Tried to do my HSC as a street kid, but it didn't. I got 3 weeks in, and I can be strong-headed, but even 3 weeks living on the streets. The school donated all my school books, and they were great. They wanted me there, but it just wasn't working. So I took a year off and worked in a bank and saved up enough money to work, to go back and put myself through HSC, and got through that. But just after then, my father and I reconciled. I walked into a news agency one day and saw him there, and he saw me and didn't recognise me. And I went to say hello, and he just walked straight past me, whether he didn't recognise me or didn't acknowledge me. Now that was my picture of God, because we tend to put the Father, God, into the experiences we have with our own fathers. Mine wasn't great, and there was always going to be a bit of work for me to accept God the Father in my life as a father who was interested in me, concerned in me. But God did show Himself as a father to me, and I'm eternally grateful. My father actually laid the foundation for that. When I was 20, I was going through a hard time. I was in a bad place, and look, I grabbed all my stuff, and I wasn't living at home then. I flew to Brisbane with all my gear, without a job. Yeah, I've got a pattern coming through there. I think you can work that out. And then I got there and I stayed in a school. Funny about it, I never actually thought about it. But I had no plans. Yeah, it doesn't sound like me now being an accountant, very measured and everything else. Yes, it was a tricky time of my life. But God has the power and the grace and the mercy to help us when we need help. I was in Queensland, in Brisbane, and I didn't know anyone else to call, so I called my father. And he flew to Brisbane to meet me in the Fortitude Valley, which is, funnily enough, we would have been 100 metres away from where Sue's parents lived then. And I put out a call for help, and he responded to my call for help. And that's the Father's heart. My father gave me a picture, and he gave me the ability to understand the picture of God the Father. That is the Father's heart, that we respond back to Him. It cost me. It cost the Father Jesus. He allowed Jesus to come down and take our place and be slaughtered in a most unruly way so that we could be reconciled to Him. What I want to do is I want to finish on one thing. When I was in my darkest moments with mental health, and that's what Outrun 331 is all about. It's responding to a cry for help. I had a lot of questions because I didn't know who I was. I hit the wall, and didn't know who I was, or where I was going. And in that situation, when you don't have hope, it can be a really tough assignment. I did have seeds from when I was going to church as a younger boy. And I knew who God was for all the wrong reasons. He was my life insurance, and he was there when I needed him. I didn't have a relationship before I hit the wall. Or I had a relationship, but it was all about me relationship. It wasn't me honouring him as the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and having that relationship. I had a lot of questions, but God provided me with the knowledge that I was loved unconditionally. He accepted me unconditionally, just like the Father in the prodigal son. God told me that I was unique, and all the things that I struggled with because I'm not like the next person. He said, no, I made you that way, because you will connect with people that those other people don't connect with. God told me that I have an identity in him, and that I can be a child of God. Although my relationship with my father is absolutely now repaired, fathers can let us down, as can mothers, as can people. Our soul can get bashed up. But in God we have an identity, we're children of him, and he never lets us down. He never leaves us nor forsakes us. We also have a purpose, that as we respond to his calling, he makes that purpose available and knowable. We can understand why we're here, why we're made this way, why we're built this way. We also have a supernatural peace. And I'll talk with peace as far as mental health goes, because I've never known such a peace. The scriptures say that he gives us a peace that's not of this world, but it's a supernatural peace, and it's available to us. And abundant life, John 10:10. I received a text this week from someone that works in pastoral care. And I'm not going to identify that person. But this is the reason Outrun 331 exists. It's from one of the towns that I'll be running through. Our town has been rocked by a few recent youth suicides. And as you can imagine, our young ones especially are feeling it. It's absolutely devastating. And I'd love it if you could just share with us a bit about mental health, your journey, and the hope, and that all good things come from knowing Jesus. Our young ones are desperate for hope. That floored me. There is Lifeline. For those that are listening, I encourage you, if there are issues, that Lifeline is available. Please contact them if you need to. The number is readily available.
And Carol, tell us. 13, 11, 14.
13, 11, 14. Thank you. Tim, just jump up here, mate. Outrun's not about me, it's about us. Tim and I, we're hitting the roads. I'm going to do the running bit, he's going to do the driving bit. Sometimes I wish I was doing the driving bit, but I haven't run for about a week and I'm really needing a run. But I'm in Cotton Wool at the moment, I'm trying to conserve the kilometres. And so I'm busting to get out for a run, but I'm just trying to conserve my 50-year-old legs. But yeah, the Father's heart is the prodigal son. And we're going to be going out there. And we are going to come across people that need help. And as I shared with that text, that was so good. We need your prayer. We need your prayers. We reach God-ordained meetings along the way. We're not going on this journey without you guys. You are coming with us. Whether it's you're following us, or you're praying for us, or whatever. This is Momentum Church. It's not just us two. The church is on the road. And I thank you, guys, for your support up to this point in time. And I thank you in the anticipation that as we head down to Narrandera, I think I've got 24 presentations now booked in for us. So, yeah, there's probably 5 or 6 schools now, 3 or 4 football clubs. Even speaking of the libraries, we can be called librarians. Yeah. So it's very exciting. Thank you. We just wanted to say thank you today for being a part of this. On Wednesday this week, Mike is going to rejoin us. If you want to hear Mike again on Wednesday morning at 9:30 on the lawns of Parliament, there's plenty of parking there. Please join us. The parliamentary, the Friends of Parliament Suicide Awareness and Prevention Group will be sending us off with a parliamentary send-off. MPs Julian and Lisa and Dr. Mike Kelly will be there. Mike's going to do his fantastic song again, which I can't wait to actually hear. So good. So good. And if you'd like to be part of a walk, then at 7:30 on that morning, we are walking from Parliament House down to Monica Oval, where, now this is where you guys can pray. On Wednesday morning, we don't want any frost, okay? So pray the frost away for us if you could, because at this stage, the weather says there's going to be frost, and if there's frost, we can't get on the oval to bounce the ball. So let's be anti-frost. So join us at 7:30, Parliament House, on the lawns. We're all going to walk down. We're going to go to Monica Road first. We'll be there for 15 minutes. Then we'll go across the road to Monica. We'll grab some coffee, some breakfast that will just be set up there. And then we'll walk back to Parliament House. So look, I encourage you all to join us for what will be the day that we head off. And yeah, exciting. So thank you today. Thank you.
Instagram, Outrun 331, and it's also on Facebook. Outrun 331.
And Twitter. And Pinterest.
And Pinterest.
And you just had 38 viewers on Periscope.
Fantastic. So you intend to do it. Okay, we're going to pray for the guys now, and we're really going to do that. So why don't we just stand up?